I was wrong about Shez, but I am willing to change and admit to my mistakes. In my last 2 videos, I wasn't sure as to how to pronounce their name. In situations like these, I usually just default to my Québécois brain and look at hard or confusing to pronounce names in French. I initially called Shez Shay because in French, S-H-E-Z is close to C-H-E-Z, and the reason I didn't call them Shez at first was because I didn't think this was an actual name. And honestly, I think of Pez dispensers or Fez from That 70s Show. It didn't make sense to me in my head, and honestly, I'm still somewhat traumatized from getting ridiculed for initially calling Gloucester Gloucester. Turns out though, I wasn't completely unjustified in my French pronunciation. For you see, in Japanese, Shay is how Japan phonetically writes the French word. The difference though is the final character, zu. So, screw you guys, because I was close. Were it not for that last character, which at the time I didn't know about the Japanese name at all, I would have been right. Shezu, in a vacuum, doesn't really mean anything in Japanese, unlike Byleth, who in demonology was a king of hell, or unlike Raruba, which is a direct transliteration of the English word larva, which was localized to arval. So yeah, larva, being the immature form of an insect. Curious, isn't it? That being said, Shezu might be short for Shezumu, which is how you pronounce Shezmu in Japanese, Shezmu being an ancient Egyptian deity. Per the Ancient Egypt wiki, Shezmu was the demonic god of red wine, slaughter, and sometimes perfumes or oils. The link between blood and the crimson color of wine is clear. Shezmu was known to destroy wrongdoers, gruesomely putting their heads in wine presses to remove the blood. He was known as the executioner of Osiris. Shezmu followed the commands of the god of the dead, and therefore sometimes given the title Slaughterer of Souls. Furthermore, Shezmu had a role to create sustenance for the pharaoh Unas. The blood wine and the bodies turned into sustenance for Unas, giving him power and strength. Behold, Shezmu has cut them up for Unas. He has boiled pieces of them in his blazing cauldrons. Unas has eaten their words of power, he has eaten their spirits. The cannibal hymn, according to Wikipedia's article on pyramid texts, refer to the utterances 273 and 274, which, quote, describes the king hunting and eating parts of the gods. Appearing first in the pyramid of Unas at the end of the 5th dynasty, the cannibal hymn preserves an early royal butchery ritual in which the deceased king, assisted by the god Shezmu, slaughters, cooks, and eats the gods as sacrificial bulls, thereby incorporating in himself their divine powers in order that he might negotiate his passage into the afterlife and guarantee his transformation as a celestial divinity ruling in the heavens. Now, I'm by no means someone interested in mythology or an expert in this stuff, and I pretty much just grabbed different pieces of Shezmu to put here for this video, but given how Fire Emblem historically loves naming their stuff after mythological beings and real-world places and people of old, this at least intrigues me, and depending on how literal the potential the inspiration from Shezmu could be, it kind of changes the context of some of these interactions.
I'm the closest ally you have. Remember, we're partners in destiny.
Now, this all being said, I'm not going to rub my theory crafting neurons together too hard here. The game is only 2 months away, but I just thought it was really interesting to learn this while correcting my own pronunciation mistakes, and I wanted to share this here. It very well could be a completely loose connection to Shezmu, or it could very well not be the connection at all. I just thought it was interesting. That's it. Don't look into it. I just wanted to talk about it because it was cool. That's it. So in conclusion, it's Shez and not Shay. But I wasn't that far off this time, unlike Gloucester. Did you know this? And what do you think these names mean for the story of this alternate Fódlan? Do you think it means anything? Let me know down in the comments below. And like always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Deuces.